Grateful to have everybody here tonight. Tonight, we're going to talk about how we can support the youth that are in the LGBT community. So I'm super excited that we have some great organizations here that are going to be joining us. We're going to be hearing from them and what they do and how we can help them and how we can support them as they move this cause along. So as we always do, we're going to start off with a little bit of prayer. God, we are grateful for you. We're grateful for your presence in our lives. We're grateful for your presence in our community and our church. We're grateful for your presence in these organizations. We ask that you continue to give us the courage and strength to be allies in the community, to create more allies in the community, to offer people education and take the fear out of what they do not know. We ask that you continue to grow us, that you continue to give us the know-how and the things, the pathway that we need to follow to bring your vision to life. So just be with us. Give us open hearts and minds tonight. We pray this all in the name of Jesus. Amen. So we're going to start tonight with Nancy. She is from Youth Outlook, and I'll let you go ahead and take over from here.
Thank you, Alton. Good evening, everybody. I'm Nancy Mullen. I'm the executive director of an organization called Youth Outlook. Pronouns for me, at least I use pronouns interchangeably. So if you're referring to me in the feminine, it's Nancy, she, her. If you're referring to me in the masculine, because I do tend to gender bend, it's Nando, he, him. And I default really easily to they. So whatever you're comfortable with addressing me with or referring to me as, I am also comfortable. As I mentioned, I'm the executive director of Youth Outlook, and Youth Outlook is the first and right now the longest running standalone not-for-profit dedicated to working only with LGBT youth in the state of Illinois. I've been on the job since 1998, about 6 months after the agency opened. We came together to work with, back in the 90s, gay and lesbian youth. We have since grown to discuss more openly the needs of our bisexual, our pansexual, our trans, and our non-binary youth, as more and more kids have come out identifying in that with those titles. We have grown immensely over the time that we've been here. We started out with like really modest aspirations of what Youth Outlook was going to be. We really pictured ourselves with just one little lonely drop-in center in the basement of the Unitarian Church in Hinsdale. God bless the UUs and the UCCs. They have been with us every step of this journey. So they gave us our first place to set up shop. And now we have drop-in centers in 8 counties and a youth leadership project, a parent program, a grandparent program, and a booming community education and professional development program that is really tugging on our shirt tails these days. Our age range has changed a lot in the last few years. We started out working with only teenagers, 14 to 18. That was our hard cutoff, 14, 18, no more, no less. We are now 12 to 20 for the bulk of the drop-in centers, with a young adult group that meets virtually that goes up to 24. And our newest program for what we call the littles, which is Rainbow Sprouts for kids who are grades K through 6. And those are folks that are served with their families, their parents, a caregiver. Somebody's got to be with them. They don't just come and get dropped off like we would at a drop-in center. So the drop-in centers are meeting here in Naperville Tuesday evening, right across the street at First Congregational. That's been our home base since 1999. And we also have a Wednesday night group for our trans kids that meets at the DuPage Unitarian Church on Old Naperville Road. So those are our 2 places where we hang out the most. And we're just about to resurrect Parent Group coming back live in 2 weeks, I think. And it meets at the same time that our Transcend group would meet on Wednesdays. So that's Youth Outlook, and that's kind of what we're doing. Was there anything else that I should be commenting on for this segment?
Not right now. We'll get to some more later, but thank you so much. It's amazing the things that you've done, and that you guys have gone from a very narrow age range to a much larger age range covering that because we need support so much at such much younger ages than we ever thought before. So awesome. That's great. Awesome. And now we are going to go to the live center and we are going to Amy, right? Okay, make sure I'm reading that right. Woohoo! I got new glasses too. Did anybody notice? No, no. So yeah, we'd love to hear about you and your organization and what you guys do.
Awesome. My name is Amy, and I am with the Alive Center right here in Naperville, and we are a non-for-profit. It's a free drop-in center for tweens and teens ages 11 through 17. We offer programming. We've got this amazing art room, this large studio where these kids go crazy for musical chairs. It's nuts. And we had a carnival-themed event today where we had 46 kids at drop-in today, 46, 16 brand new, and we did face painting, which you can see like right here, but I smudged it all up. But it's a really fun, safe space for everyone: LGBTQ, regular kids, normal kids, happy kids, sad kids, wonderful kids, awesome kids. It is just the best place for kids to drop in, feel safe, feel accepted. And as long as you're between the ages of 11 and 17, we also offer free tutoring on Wednesdays and Thursdays from 3 until 5. Our summer hours are from 1 until 5. And starting August 17th, we switch to our school hours, which are 3 to 7 p.m. It is a really awesome, all accepting place for anyone and everyone. And we've got amazing interns that work there with us. We do tons of activities, tons of games, and people feel accepted and included. And it's also, parents, it's also a nice respite for you. You need a few hours, like to get some shopping done or something. You drop your kids off and you know that they're in a safe place and they're watched over. Every room that we have there we have a full kitchen as well. So the kids like to cook, and we have, Wellness Wednesdays, where we do this past Wednesday we made homemade guacamole, and the kids that didn't even like guacamole, they were trying it, they were involved in making it, and we teach them skills there. And then some kids they just want to come and hang out and just chill, and that's okay too. They don't have to participate in any activities that we do. We encourage them, but if maybe a kid is just having a rough day, then we'll sit down and we'll talk with them. It's all about conversation and letting these kids know that they are in a safe space and that they can talk to us if they don't want to talk to anybody else. And it's also great. We have a lot of kids that come there that are homeschooled, and they don't know a lot of other teens. So we're very mindful of that, and we make sure that we introduce them to other kids and they form friendships. Just 2 weeks ago, we had a couple of kids come in that knew no one. There was a group of 5. Well, 2 were brother and sister, but in total there were 5. Never knew each other, never met each other. By day 2, they were besties. They were texting each other. They were hanging, with each other outside of the Alive Center. So it's just a really cool place, a safe place, an all-inclusive place that kids can come. We don't tolerate bullying or teasing or any of that. It's just really a cool place, and we are a non-for-profit, and we've been around since 2015. I've been there for a little over a year now, and I couldn't imagine being any place else right now, just because of what I've seen, and these friendships grow, and these kids that feel like they may not fit in someplace else, they come in here and they're like, oh, this is great. And we run a lot of camps there. We do Alive with Pride. That camp is amazing. We do Girls in STEM. We do. They did a sweet taste of science where they learned how to cook, and they learned like some of the science within food, which I don't care about because I just want to eat the food. But they thought it was really cool, and these kids love it. And part of our big thing is teen-led, teen-driven. So these camps that we run are run by teenagers that teach the younger kids. So we're empowering these teens to do some amazing things with and make them feel like they're the ones in charge. They come up with the curriculum. They do all of this, and they're teaching smaller. I mean, most of our teen-led, teen-driven leads are sophomores, juniors, seniors in high school, but they feel like they are it because they're in charge of teaching these 11, 12, and 13 and 14-year-olds all this really cool stuff, coding, STEM stuff. It's really cool. So we're at the Alive Center. We're right across the street from Naperville North High School on 5th Avenue. So if you're interested, I do have some brochures and stuff over there, and check us out. And it's completely free for kids to come in. So and I get really excited in the fall. I go to the schools during their lunch hours. I'm like, and you know what the coolest thing about this is that raise your hand if you have younger siblings, because I'm talking to 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. Raise your hand if you have younger siblings that are younger than 5th grade, and all their hands go up. And I say, guess what? They can't come. And then they get really excited and they all cheer. They're like, yeah. So anyways, I'm Amy with the Alive Center, and we'd love to see more tweens and teens there. So thank you so much for having me. This is awesome. And what you guys do is amazing. So thank you.
Well, thank you, Amy. We appreciate it. It sounds like you're doing some great stuff there with all of the activities. I love the idea of the art room. I mean, creativity really draws that people out of their shell. So having those creative outlets, and the cooking really speaks to me too, because I'm a chef. But yeah, all of that fun stuff. So having those activities and then teaching them, and then also giving them that responsibility of learning how to lead and how to be productive citizens of society is great. Awesome. So last but not least, we are now going to hear from Kelly with PFLAG. So let us know what you guys are about.
Hi. My name is Kelly Hemmer. I'm the current president of PFLAG DuPage. PFLAG is the nation's largest organization that does education and support and advocacy. We're made up of members of the LGBTQ community, parents, friends, allies, all kinds of people. PFLAG was started 50 years ago by a parent who was supporting her gay son. She quickly realized that there were other parents that could use support also, and she started a support group, which then became PFLAG. PFLAG DuPage has actually been around for 20 years. I think all of those 20 years, they've walked in the Wheaton 4th of July parade. This year we did the Aurora Pride Parade. Along with other chapters in the area, we marched in the Chicago Pride Parade. But for parades and stuff, for me, the Wheaton 4th of July parade is the most important one that we do, because that one is where we're getting out to people outside the LGBTQ community. We meet the third Sunday of every month at St. Paul Lutheran in Wheaton, no matter what. Yes, we do meet if it's Easter. Almost every year, our June meeting is on Father's Day. So it's a very steady thing for anybody who needs us. And mostly we help the youth because we're there for their parents. When young people come out, this is one of the things I've learned being a member of PFLAG, is that for anybody, whether you come out as a teenager or in your 50s, for most people, it's the hardest thing they ever do. And part of what's hard about that is there's a lot of questions. The parents have a lot of questions. Anybody else has a lot of questions. And PFLAG can be there to answer those questions. We're a safe place for parents to talk open and honestly about any problems they're having. It can be a very hard process for some people. And one of the things I love about PFLAG DuPage is we have several members who have been with PFLAG DuPage for 10 years plus that still come to meetings. So they are there to show people that where you can get on your journey, and to share their wisdom and all the things they've learned over the years. So yeah, that's PFLAG.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing. Hang on, because we'll go backwards with this next round then. Okay. But no, it's awesome that you're supporting the parents, and I don't think that a lot of people think that about the fact that when people do come out, that it's a family affair.
Mm-hmm.
It affects the entire family, and although it may be really, it is that individuals coming out and it's about them, that the people around them in their lives, things are changing for them too, and they also need that support.
Yes.
And if they don't get that support, it could make it harder for them as they're, they might not get the support that they need at home. So it's very important. So let's talk about how we can support you as an organization. What can we do? It's supporting you, to whether donations or becoming allies. What can we do that can help your organization out? And that's what we'll talk about for all three of you.
Well, with PFLAG, I think we're more about being there for people. PFLAG DuPage is lucky; we have a good membership, but we just want everybody to come to meetings and learn, because we're a lot more than just a support group now. Almost every month we'll have an educational program. We do advocacy work, getting out at tables in the community, like where I met you guys was at a health fair right here. Yeah, and like if you get on our mailing list, you'll learn about activities we're at. I try to share stuff that I learned from other groups like Youth Outlook and Equality Illinois about things that are going on in the legislature. One of the most important things you can do as an ally is to keep up on what's going on in the legislature and actually contact your lawmakers and say, hey, you need to support this bill, or please don't support this bill, because they listen. There's so few people that actually reach out to their legislatures that they really listen to the people that do. And one of the really basic ways you can support any organization that does advocacy work is just becoming a member. Even if you never went to a meeting or anything else, if you pay that few dollars of your membership fee, that is something that the people who go to advocate on behalf of PFLAG at the state and the national level, they can say, we have this many members, and the higher that number is, then the more weight what they say has. So while you're never ever required to be a member of PFLAG to attend one of our meetings, being a member is a very simple, easy way that you can support PFLAG.
That's awesome. That's something that I guess I would never really thought about. So, numbers speak, right?
Yes.
So I heard you say a couple of things. Could you give us maybe a couple examples of some of the educational types of things that you guys?
Sure. Our last month, my husband, Dan over here, gave a talk. We've had a lot of new members in recent months. So he gave just a basic talk about gender identity and breaking it down, the different aspects of that, and then kind of a little bit talking about how that applies to all the different terms, like pansexual and transgender and all that. But more talking about just the basic concepts, because if you kind of understand those concepts, then it helps everything else make sense. And then talked a little bit about ways that you can be an ally. In, I think, October, we're actually going to have a panel of youth from Youth Outlook at our meeting. And then in September, I think we're going to have somebody from Equality Illinois coming and talking about what's going on at the state level in the legislature. So all kinds of stuff.
That's awesome. And that was the other thing that I thought was important. So do you have a place where you maybe organize or get that information out, like the legislation information out to people to say, hey, support this or don't support this, for those who may not really know where to find that information? Do you guys have any kind of a hub?
Personally, I am subscribed to the Equality Illinois email. For state level, they are the best source for what's going on in the legislature. And if it's something really important, then what I will do when I get their emails is I will then send an email out to my email list saying, hey, got the heads up from Equality Illinois. Here's the link. Go write your lawmaker.
Cool.
Yeah.
So we'll get all of this information and make sure that we get that out on our page as well, so we can help spread this. Awesome. We'll move on to Amy.
Okay. Well, I think the best way that we can be allies and be supported is letting your families know that we exist. There's so much hatred and bullying that goes on in the schools, and for these kids who are just trying to figure it out at such a young age, and they feel like they don't fit in and they don't belong. And at the Alive Center, we do a really good job of letting these kids know that you belong here. And it doesn't matter what gender you identify as. None of that stuff matters. What matters is you're part of our Alive Center family, and we treat everybody equally. We don't tolerate bullying. We don't tolerate teasing, none of that stuff. So I really feel like our kids that come to the Alive Center feel safe, and they feel respected and heard, and they can hang out and be themselves and not worry about it, because there's no bias there. It's just a safe place for everybody to be. So letting more families know about our center is awesome. And then we also we take donations of snacks. These kids are hungry. So if you ever felt the need, healthy snacks, whatever kind of snacks, these kids, especially when the school year starts, they come to us at 3:00 and they're just like velociraptors. They just go into the kitchen and they just scarf up everything. So that would be a really good thing.
Non-perishable items, I would assume.
Non-perishable items, right?
Don't
Although,
drop
you know
off
what,
any
they
lettuce.
love those little cuties, those clementines. They love those. We always do apples and peanut butter or things like that. But granola bars, microwave popcorn, individual bags of chips, goldfish, I mean, anything. These kids are just starving. Some of them don't have, or they have lunch at like 9:00 in the morning and nothing else to eat the rest of the day. So I think those would be the twoest things that would help our center. Well, of course, if you have $1 million and you want to donate that to us, that would be great too. But I know. Oh, see, Alton. But yeah, anything like that would help. But just to get the word out that that the Alive Center exists, and we do have a satellite Alive Center in Aurora, downtown Aurora. We take up space at Community Christian Church, I believe, and then we have another
I've heard of it.
center in we have another center in Hanover Park, and then we are in the process of franchising. Also, we're going to be next year starting at the Glen Ellen YMCA. So there's a lot of stuff going on. So you're going to start seeing our name a little bit more, but you can say we heard it first. We heard it here first at a New Way Church. So
now the snacks and everything, do you just drop those off in the hours that you guys are there?
Yes.
At the center? Okay.
Yes. We are open. Our hours right now are 1 to 5, but when the school year, but we are there. Somebody is always there from 9 until 5. Drop-in hours are 1 to 5.
In between 9 and 5. And
yes.
all the way till 7.
Not 5:01, because at 5:00 we kick the kids out and lock the door. So make sure you're there before then. Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right. Awesome. Thank you.
All right, you're up.
Thanks,
Auntie.
Amy. I would echo everything Kelly said and everything Amy said about the legislative pieces. It's huge for us to be paying attention to that right now because there's a lot of ugliness swirling around us at this moment. The school part is also super important because the school boards are under pressure to push against LGBT issues. So hearing from parents, hearing from community members who are interested in making sure that the kids get the support that they need, have access to the resources that they need, all of the questions that are being called to the front right now, making sure that those things are kept on the front burner and that the schools know that there are supportive families and parents out here who want their kids taken care of in that manner. The other things that I would add for us, we exist as a fully virtual agency. In fact, we borrow space from the Alive Center for our Rainbow Sprouts group. So some of the things that are helpful for us, similar to the Alive Center, we're also feeding ravenous teenagers. So those snacks go a long way. But also there have been groups that have come together and done game drives for us or sporting equipment drives for us so that we can do stuff other than most of our drop-in centers are in church space. So getting the kids out of the church basements every once in a while so they don't turn into little mushrooms, on nice nights. Not a night like tonight. Let's go outside and, be in the park or be out of doors so that we don't get moldy. As a fully virtual organization, we also have a couple of needs around staffing, which look a little bit different than organizations that are able to pay for their staff folks. We run with a lot of volunteer power. So if people are interested in doing volunteer work, we do a training to put new volunteers in place twice a year, spring and fall. And right now the training runs about between 18 and 20 hours. Most of it's online. There's one day in person, one full day. And then that prepares people to work in our drop-in centers, help people run the evening. The other stuff that would be helpful for us as a not-for-profit is we have a really active board. If folks are not the kind of folks that want to hang out and play with pool noodles with a group of rowdy teenagers, board work or subcommittee work is also a place that people's talent and time would be super appreciated. And if not you, then people that you know who are allies within your professional community. Right now, our board is looking for folks who have HR experience. We just lost our person who was our HR. She does HR in her full-time job. So she's finished up her term and stepped down. And we've had an attorney with us for the last 6 years. We would like to replace him because he was just invaluable to us when we were asking questions about all that good bylaws changes and all that good stuff that not-for-profits do. So those, I think, are the main ways that folks would go about supporting us. So there's kind of a little bit for everybody, depending on you want to do the behind the scenes stuff, you want to do the on the ground stuff, you want to do the contact the schools or call your reps. All of that good stuff applies for Youth Outlook as well.
Awesome. That's really cool that to see the cooperation between the community and the different organizations to support that. So it takes a lot of work to keep things going and running and organizing and keeping them entertained and making sure you have supplies. So first of all, good work, and thank you for doing what you do in our community. Is there anything that you can think of that else that you would add to tonight that we can do, or that you would like to see, or that's coming up for your organization, or any special events, anything else that you would like to share?
Special event wise, yes.
Okay.
I mentioned earlier, we've been in business since 1998. This is our 25th anniversary this year.
Woo!
Right, this is a big year for
Look
us.
at day over 21.
Thank you, thank you. So we have our big gala in the fall, Dare to Dream. That's October 21st. If you don't attend those kinds of things, but are free to lend a hand during the day to help us get the room set up or help us collect and set up silent auction items, those things are always a huge help to us. That's the big one. And we have a picnic coming up in August, the back to school picnic that we have done for the last several years. It got canceled by COVID 2 years in a row. That was a drag. But we're back in person with the PFLAG folks. There will be a PFLAG dad out there flipping burgers and dogs on the grill. Yes, they do a fabulous job. That's August 26th, I want to say. I don't have a calendar in front of my eyeballs, so let's go with that.
We'll verify, and then
There we
we'll
go.
push
There we
that
go.
out.
Yeah. Fact check that one. I think those are the two big ones coming up for us.
Awesome. Thank you. Amy, how about you? Any thing that you would like to add? Any special events or special things?
No, I'm just kidding. We are doing a back to school bash on September 1st, that first Friday. So we'll have a DJ there, and it'll just be a big dance party. We'll be ordering pizzas, and it's just a way for the kids to come together there after they've been in school for a couple weeks and hang out and chill and relax and all that. I do also know that one of our partners, Mays Center of Music for Excellence, they are doing a back to school event on Sunday, August 13th, where they're offering free haircuts, free backpacks, free school supplies, things like that. So you have to register at maysmusic.org, I believe is the website. And again, they're a partner of ours. It's not the Alive Center, but they're doing it at the Alive Center. But it's a really cool thing that they're doing. And just follow us on Facebook. Facebook.com/Alive Teen Center, I think is what it is, or check out our website, alivecenter.org, to follow the things that we do and just share the word about our center and what we do. And let's get more kids there. Yeah.
Awesome.
So thank you.
And I think that's important just to mention that the power of social media is amazing. So just to follow all of these organizations and any ones that we support that are doing great things in our community, to follow them and to share their stuff out, whether we're attending events or not, just to get that information out to the people we know. We can get that out. Go for it, Kelly.
Well, our big event coming up is the same as Youth Outlook, and it is August 26th. Yeah, the social media thing is something that PFLAG DuPage. We do have a Facebook page. We are trying to have more than that, but we do struggle with it. I'm one of the younger members currently. We have some younger people who come in that are hopefully going to help us with that. I guess the one thing I thought of that I didn't mention before is that I think I did mention that PFLAG is a national organization, and there's like 400 chapters all over the country. So that's one thing. It's like if you know people in other states that could use help and support, just tell them to go to pflag.org, and you can search by your zip code for the nearest chapter. And that includes states that are really targeted. One of the things that PFLAG National has done in the last year is they're part of a lawsuit against the state of Texas. And we were literally told that if we knew families with trans children in Texas, and they weren't members of PFLAG, that they should join, because they're hoping then that they would get protection from the lawsuit. So that's it.
Well, thank you. So I'm going to have one more question before we wrap it up. Okay. So just how long have you been with your organization? And what keeps you there?
We joined PFLAG in July of 2019. I had done research of several different organizations trying to find a new volunteer home. I was with PTA for 14 years and when I was done with that, was looking for a new home. And the first meeting that we went to of PFLAG DuPage, I was like, yep, this is it. These are good people. And they had their act together. And yeah. And I am there because I'm passionate about helping youth. I always have been, from my days in PTA. And I think that PFLAG is one of the best ways to do that by helping the parents and hopefully providing better home atmosphere for all those kids.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, I've been at the Alive Center for a little over a year now. And what keeps me there, first of all, is the staff, because we work really, really well together because it's all about a love for the kids. And I do have a passion for working with kids. And as a mom myself, I've been through my kids being bullied, and it hurts my heart so badly. So the fact that we can provide this space with an amazing team that we just love the kids so much, that keeps me there. But also, I know the power of social media in a negative light, and social media has become more deadly than ever. And part of what we do is we provide activities where kids can be kids. And they're not constantly on their phones because, oh my God, wait, you're playing musical chairs in the gym? Or, oh my gosh, we can win prizes if we play Bozo Buckets. And these are like 14-year-old kids, right? That are always like on their phone. So I love that I get to be part of something that can stop some of that social media stuff that just pulls and lures these kids in, and we can allow them to be kids. That's what keeps me there.
Thanks.
Thanks, Amy. So I'm about to celebrate my 200th year with YouthOutlook. I'm the founding executive director, so I've been on board since 1998. The agency was 6 months old when I came. So I have been around to see all of the growth and all of the changes across all of our counties. And thinking back to the early days of just arriving here, I'm going to do this as a live storytelling next week at Sidetrack, talking about the history of DuPage County and the services that did not exist when I arrived, and the messages of that there were no gay kids in the western suburbs. That was an urban issue. We don't have kids like that here. And I was always like, what, do you think we just drop on the planet at 21 ready to enter the workforce? We do go through high school. We do have those experiences. So, and then just watching what has happened, and this year, watching every community that we have touched over the years put up a rainbow flag. That's been mind blowing for me. From the areas that didn't even want to have a discussion about this topic in 1998. So what keeps me here is it's probably my own personal calling to be here. I had an opportunity with this career to create safe, brave space for kids that I think very highly of. I had my own experiences as a high school student that brought me to a place that was very dark and very difficult. I wrote a book about it and released it in 2020. It's called Urban Tide Pool. And I talk about being a homeless, orphaned, queer kid in South Philadelphia living in a 1973 Pinto. And if y'all are old enough to remember the 1973 Pinto, that was the year that blew up when you hit them in the back end because they had that gas tank flaw. And that's how I graduated from high school. And I went away to college because I needed a place to live. And it was just that flip of the switch that put me in touch with the people that helped me become a social worker and helped me learn that there was all of this amazing stuff out there in the world, and that my life wasn't always going to be about being a homeless, orphaned, queer kid. And now I have the opportunity to offer that world in this agency that we have built, that there's so much more out there. There is so much love out there. There is so much joy out there, and there is so much to hope for. And that's what keeps me here 25 years later.
Well, I would tell you to drop that mic, but it's new and we can't replace it. So don't do that. Metaphorically, we will do that. But wow, thank you. We will continue this after. We're going to take a little break. We'll close out with a little prayer, and then we'll see you guys later after we do this. So, God, I want to ask that you continue to bless these folks, bless these organizations, continue to lead them and give them the passion to do what they do. Without them, there would be many that would not have the encouragement and the love and the 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 energy to continue to live a life and to want to be more and to know that they are not the labels that society and the world put on them, but they are much, much more. So we thank you for this, and we are grateful to be here with them and with you in our presence, and just continue to show us how we can be better people in the world. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.